What's up, internet? Yay! How are y'all doing today? So, I'm Aries Van Dam. How y'all doing, internet? Today I wanted to do another feminism one. That was enough of the whole Nick Fuentes excitement yesterday. I had a lot of views. I was all excited. I had 300 views by the time I finished almost, and then I still have 300 because once everybody else made their content, I got buried. Everybody made a video about that. I'm glad I went live. But today I'm gonna go back to the feminism stuff. You know, can't do that other stuff too much. Because today what I want to point out, like my issue with women is that they create over 80% of their own problems. Like they just literally, they choose bad men, they choose bad jobs, they choose bad hobbies, like just in general, bad choices. They just choose everything poorly. And then you get to just be there for the ramifications when they come back, because they can't deal with the ramifications of their own choices, right? This is clearly obvious. Just like if they have sex and then they don't want a baby, I don't want the ramifications, so I'm just going to go have this procedure, right? But they'll tell a man, if they want to have it, they'll tell the man he's got to go work for 18 years. It's insane. And men have always been the pressure release valve for women. It just is. So that's why they shouldn't be in the workplace, because we have to be the pressure release valve. Like any man who's ever worked with one knows exactly what I'm talking about. Just certain days of the week when she shows up and it's just impossible to work with her. You know what time that is. We all know what time that is. But yeah, it's just unnecessary. It's clearly unnecessary. I found some Andrew Wilson. It was a video. Like, I'm just going to play the whole video because it's best of whatever. And he tears up 2 panels of these feminists. I didn't watch much of this. I watched the beginning of the part because I was making sure that it wasn't one that I already did, because I did do a piece of the first whatever with Nala and Not So Erudite and Pixie, and that one I've already done that, but it's not the same content. So I had to watch that just to make sure. But yeah, let's check it out and dive into it.
You do OnlyFans as well. Do your parents know? Supportive, not supportive?
So my mom knows. I actually just told her about the OnlyFans. She's been known that I'm a dancer since I started. My stepdad knows I'm a dancer, but he doesn't know about the OnlyFans, just because he has a pretty antiquated view on, the internet's there forever and safety and stuff like that. So he doesn't really.
When you say antiquated view, what do you mean?
I think it's just a boomer / Gen X perspective that.
What perspective is that? What is the antiquated perspective?
Yeah, that you shouldn't post that stuff on the internet.
Just like conservative?
I guess that would be conservative.
And is that antiquated, or is that?
I mean, I would.
It's definitely more common amongst older populations.
Wait, so your parents, do they know that you're? They said they know that you dance,
Her mom does. Yeah, so they both know that I dance. My mom knows that I do OnlyFans. Okay. My biological dad does not know either. As far as I'm aware.
And is your mom? Is she supportive?
Yes, she's all about me getting my money.
She's all about you making your money. What about your dad?
Biological dad or stepdad?
Both.
Well, my stepdad also doesn't really care as long as I'm safe. That's like the main thing for him, and the same thing for my mom. But he's also wants me to be self-sufficient and stuff like that. So that's like really their main concern, is my self-sufficiency.
Couldn't you be self-sufficient though without?
It's a lot more difficult. So I did, as a young person.
In this girl's parents' defense, she's really fucking stupid. Really fucking stupid. And I think that what happened is she went through school, and like the dad, by the time she got out, he figured he pretty much had like a retarded kid he was going to be taken care of for the rest of her life. And he found a way that he could get her out of the fucking house. Like, that's the only way. I doubt if she could hold a job down, like just regular anything. Like, what could she do? She thinks her mom can beat up men, her 5-foot tall mom, because she talks mean to daddy. What could you get this girl to do? So I think it's really shitty that her parents said that, but I kind of understand because she is really fucking retarded.
And the only options that I have, for a job is entry level stuff, and then also like fast food work and stuff like that. I could work my way, as a manager in a fast food restaurant, but that's really the highest up position
sure.
that I could get.
And then Nala, I think you maybe talked a bit.
So
And that would be why they get your order wrong every fucking time if she got to be a manager.
Oh, my dad, my entire family knows. My mom and I don't speak anymore. She's very religious, conservative. We've never had a good relationship throughout my entire life. It didn't even matter when I was a pastor's kid.
Yeah.
My dad found out and everything, very just supportive of me. He is still a Christian. He loves me. Me and my dad have had a really good relationship throughout the years. I financially support my family because they're retired now and have like kids who have kids.
So a former pastor dad now lives off his porn star daughter. Sounds like a pimp, don't it?
And like my nieces and nephew need like things sometimes, so I love to give money to my family because I have it and they're still part of my family. Like I care about them. So even if I didn't speak to them, I wouldn't care. Like I made the decisions I made and I'm being very smart about it. And obviously I know that OnlyFans is not the end result. I went to college to be a dental hygienist and I worked in an orthopedic office scheduling surgeries and stuff. I had big girl jobs with big girl benefits that didn't pay the bills. So I'm like, listen, I have huge.
They paid her bills. They just didn't finance trips to Maui and trips to Paris whenever she wanted. I'm sure they paid her bills.
Pursuits like snowboarding. Snowboarding's f***ing expensive. I want to be tutored in Japanese.
Exactly. See, she's got to go to Tahoe. See, that's why those jobs don't pay her bills. Because her bills were, she wants to live like Elon Musk. And you don't get to do that when you work data entry and shit like that. She's too dumb to fucking understand that. She wants to live like she's on like TV, like literally.
That's expensive. Like I wanted things that I couldn't achieve with a normal job and like something that men think that I should be doing, So
I've never been fucking skiing. Sounds stupid. Go climb a mountain and fucking slide down it. Sounds stupid. So am I missing out on something? Is that something necessary for a human to do? Go to Tahoe and spend $30,000 on a skiing trip? Is that necessary? I don't think so.
Pursuing this OnlyFans career gave me so much freedom to expand as a human being. And I was like, wow, like this is what I want to do. And again, this won't last forever.
Just out of curiosity, you couldn't have gone snowboarding and learned Japanese without doing OnlyFans?
What I'm telling you is that it cost.
She couldn't fly first class. Like she's got to live like fucking on TV. Didn't you hear, Andrew?
Money that I didn't have. Doing things like being a surgery.
You can find a hill and just go slide down it if you want. Won't be in Vail.
Scheduler working like I said, I went to college. Like I got my little degree and everything, and that got me nowhere.
Especially with this economy right now.
It's like, so bad. I could.
This chick's like 26, 25. Got me nowhere. I did it for a whole month. They didn't make me. They didn't make me the CEO. Can you believe that? I've got to fucking pay for a trip to go skiing. That's how far we've fallen. This chick, literally, I think she's 25 maybe at the most. So how long could you have given to see if you could make this job into a career? How long could you have given?
Not living in
Been selling your butthole on the internet for a couple of years.
California doing what I did. Absolutely
Inflation.
not. It's so bad. And then I was like, I have to get a second job as a female who doesn't have a boyfriend I was
What? Excuse me, wait a minute. I had to get a second job because I'm a girl who doesn't have a boyfriend. Now, why would your boyfriend factor into your fancy living and your trips to go skiing? Why would he factor into that? Oh, because he has to finance all your stupid shit you want to go fucking do. Yeah.
being supported by anyone. So I was like, okay, you know what? I think I'm
Supported.
really good at having a presence online. And I pursued so much. I don't just do OnlyFans.
She's making this into a real fancy story. It's not a fancy story, though. I want expensive things. I want to live like a fucking movie star, and I have no skills, and I'm fucking retarded. So what do I have? Big titties and a nice ass. Guys want to see that. It's not that complicated, sweetheart. We don't need this big, long story. Every girl at the table has the exact same story.
And OnlyFans is really like my content for OnlyFans is slowed down so that I could pursue bigger things that led me down
Bigger
different
dicks.
financial routes. So, again, this was a starter, not an ender.
Can I ask one question about to all the girls that do OnlyFans? Because Lord knows y'all make a lot of money, and I'm gonna be honest. Sometimes I make jokes at work, and I'm like, I work obscene amount of hours to not make anywhere near as much money. But there is a part of me that's also wondering, like you like you said, you can't do this forever.
No,
and when
I
you
don't.
go back into let's say civilian life, you're gonna look at everything and be like, I'm not gonna accept any of this because you're gonna make a eighth of what you made.
So it's not about
Before?
that. What I'm trying to do
You're
is
gonna
set myself.
I almost
invest.
want to
You have,
answer
well,
on.
you're gonna
20
make
years,
money.
like-
No. But
Because
the point of making
if you're
that,
smart,
the point of making that much
I
was
money
about to
is
say, like-
I'm not going back to
buying
a normal
If
job.
you're
No,
smart.
but
If
that's
you're
the whole
smart.
point.
If you're
So
smart
you're
about it.
investing
Not
in
If.
buying.
Big if.
You're investing
No, they're
in
not.
buying
I
real
see
estate.
No. Hold on.
Ain't no one at that table smart except Andrew and Brian.
I think
maybe this chick.
I mean, perhaps you don't have any history on Nala. Nala, let me ask you a question. If you wanted to retire today, could you?
1,000,000%. I could have retired
Okay.
a year ago.
So it's, I mean, you're not familiar with Nala, but I think
So she's just in it for the love of dick. She's just showing it on the internet because she likes to show it. She just told her she could retire.
asking her that specific. Granted, there are women who do OnlyFans who they will face that challenge, but I think
Yeah.
Nala here is an exceptional
You're an
earner.
exception for it.
Well,
So-
it's just so much more about growing yourself as a person and not just growing and making content and taking pictures of yourself. That doesn't help you do anything bigger.
Yeah, it's
and
art.
then when you're making this much money as such a young person, you're like, wow, this is the time to be an adult. You need to set up for your future self. Like you need to think of like the future Nala and be like, you know what? She'd want to be comfortable too. And
Yeah.
she would want to continue sending her parents money.
Yeah.
I know that for a fact because I don't feel like I'm changing anytime soon. You know, so that was the biggest purpose of this. And I felt so steady in my decision making through this and financial, just like maneuvering. I'm so thankful that I did what I did.
I have
For sure.
a quick
Yeah,
quick
yeah.
question. If you went to your parents and you asked them, you said, you know, I have a choice. I can either quit doing all of this tomorrow, right, and go get a job for like a tenth of this, or I can continue to do this and send you money. Which one do you think they would ask?
My mom would say, absolutely quit. My dad, he'd be like, oh my God, no, why would you ever quit?
Dad's a fan. He likes the content too, I guess. That's the only thing that makes sense. Yes, I want my daughter to continue defiling herself on the internet so men can spank to it. What kind of fucking dad would really say that? I don't think her pastor dad really feels that way unless it's just about the money. Like that's the only thing that makes
Your
sense.
dad would say that?
My dad would say that I send money to my dad so that he can be comfortable with
And
like
he's
their
a
family.
pastor?
No, he's not a pastor anymore. They stopped being a pastor when I was like 8.
Can't be.
Okay, but he
So-
was, and he retained his faith, right?
They
He
probably
did.
stoned him.
He did. I'm his daughter, though. You know, I'm not just some stranger. He's like, you know what? If I want
I think
her in
doesn't
my
that
life,
make it worse? Like,
She's probably the reason he can't be a pastor no more.
wouldn't that make it
absolutely
worse?
not. Don't you have to
Would you
accept your
leave her,
kids for
though?
who they
No.
are?
Yeah. What?
And
No.
what?
No.
So
You
wait,
would
wait, wait,
disown
no
wait.
more. No,
Guys, one mic at a time.
Are you
One
just
mic at a
saying
time.
that, like,
I'll let
let's
you
just
come
say,
in. Go
Hang
ahead.
on, I'll
let's just
answer.
say,
I'll answer the
if you had a
question.
kid and they were doing OnlyFans, what you just disown them because they
Until
made a bad decision.
Until they clean their life up, yeah.
You're
Wow.
a bad parent.
Wow, that's
My
terrible.
family would
That's
100%.
Wow.
My family would
terrible
100%
parenting.
disown me.
Okay, well then,
100%.
what about
That's
you're a bad
terrible.
kid?
No,
Okay,
you can
we're
think
allowed to
your
make
kid
bad
is
decisions.
Guys.
We're allowed to make bad decisions. That's what's in their mind. That's they probably teach the girls. Like when they split boys and girls up at school every once in a while, I bet that's what they're teaching the girls. You never have to deal with your bad decisions. You still have to be supported. Everybody's got to support you. You have boobies. Everybody's got to support you, even when you're showing them to strangers on the internet. Your dad should not be fucking on board with this. That is a bad fucking thing. Your dad should never be on board with anything you talk to him about with sex and even involving sex. He shouldn't want to know that. He shouldn't. Oh my God, it's disgusting. They literally want positive reinforcement, even when they're blowing guys on the internet. This is like, what? They think he's the bad dad because he just says, no, I'm not going to keep supporting you and letting you fucking become a degenerate.
Guys, please.
Yeah,
one at a
you
time.
can- you
One
can-
person speaking at a time. Go
You
ahead.
can
He's supposed to
think your
help.
You
kid
guys
is
can talk.
bad.
Go ahead.
You can think your kid is bad and disagree with their life choices, sure, but as a parent, you're supposed to be like a guiding figure and a loving figure, and part of
they've
that is not
rejected-
abandoning them in
Yeah.
their time of need.
They've-
And
what
if
do
you
you
want,
mean?
if
They're
you want to
giving
talk
you the
about
middle finger.
Christianity,
Time of need. Doesn't look like she's in need of anything but a dick. She's got her butthole spread apart. What goes there? What does she need? She needs an ass kicking, but we can't do that anymore because she's an adult and he would get in trouble. So you just take away all the financial support. You take away all the emotional support. You just shun them. Of course.
If you want to talk about Christianity, if you want to talk
Consequences,
about like
ladies.
God and Jesus and the countless stories there are in the
Wait.
Bible of like still
I gotta
accept.
respond to this. I
Okay,
gotta
okay,
respond to
okay.
this. Okay, listen. First of all, let's dive into this just a little bit. Okay, my daughter calls me up and she's like, "Hey, Dad, you know, I'm still going to be doing OnlyFans, but I'm kind of thinking about not doing it." Right? I would say, "Yes, absolutely, don't do it." In her situation, she's like, "No, he would totally be cool with
You're
it."
saying you would
Because
disown
you're
your child.
Hang
You're
on.
saying you would
What-
say
what was
be
the
gone,
con-
child.
what was the-
He doesn't support you. You're supporting him, bitch. You're giving him money. That's why he says keep doing it.
Context.
So
The
fucking
context is
complicated.
to tell what?
He
No,
supports
the
the
context
tell-
was
decision.
we asked the question was straightforwardly asked. If you found out your daughter had OnlyFans, what would you do?
And I
you
said, until she cleaned up, I would not be participating with her or allow her in my
you
life.
said you
It's
would
probably easier for
disown
them.
her.
Why is that awful?
Because you're not supporting your child.
Yeah, I'm
anymore.
not supporting
You don't have
bad,
to support
horrible
what you're
decisions that they're
doing, but you
making.
shouldn't
I'm making
disown
them
them.
face
A
consequences.
decision doesn't make them as a whole, though.
Yeah, the thing
You all know better.
No.
You literally told me you know for sure
I
what you're
didn't
doing
say-
is bad, and you're just gonna.
She grew up in the church. Her dad was a pastor and she doesn't know that it's bad. It's a mystery. It's a mystery. You just have to let me make my bad decisions. That's every woman's motto. Every woman's motto. Let me make my bad decisions, then forgive me when I come back. That's all they ever fucking want.
Do it anyway, and then you're like,
Who
"Dad,
said it's
support it.
bad,
It's
though?
crazy."
Who said it's bad though?
That's
Because
crazy
I
to
didn't
me.
Even
say it was
Nala,
bad.
even what Nala said, she said her dad doesn't support. She might not support what she does, OnlyFans, whatever. But he's like, you know what? You're my daughter, and if that's what you want to do with your life,
She just said he would tell me to keep doing it. That's not what you're describing, sweetheart. You're describing something very different from what she just said. She said he would tell me to keep doing it anyway. That's what she said. So all this is just some shit you made up in your head.
that doesn't.
Yeah,
mean
but are
I'm,
you sh-
I'm saying yeah, go and do that.
Yeah, but are
Go
you
do
sure that this
OnlyFans,
isn't
but
just
I love
cope?
you, and I'm still gonna be in your
Are
life.
you sure that's not just cope? Because the same thing could happen to you.
Well, that's not true at all, though.
Yeah, isn't it though?
Because-
Isn't it really cope? You're just upset because your parents might actually do this to you. They might make you feel the consequences
Well,
of
then
this,
let
right?
They will.
And then what?
They're
You're just an
Muslims.
You don't
independent
care.
They will.
parent that doesn't-
So if you
Of
don't care if they
course I
disown
care.
you, why
Of
would you
course
say
I
they're a
care.
bad parent?
No,
No,
of course I care.
I'm calling you about it.
Wait,
One
wait,
at a time.
one at
Do
a
you
time,
think
one
your
at a time.
daughter?
Wait,
Do you
you
think
said
your
I
daughter would
would
care if you abandoned her?
Yeah,
Very
it's
simple.
not abandoning. You're
Because
abandoning
you
an
can
adult.
disown her.
An adult?
Yes, you can. There is no age that you cannot abandon your
Stuck
child.
with your kids when they're 60 and making bad choices
You
in
don't
your
have to
80s?
support them.
What?
Nobody said you have to support them.
No.
You
She
don't
just
have
said
to
you
say
have
no.
to support
Okay,
them,
you
and
don't
now
have
she's
to say
saying
every
you don't have
decision
to
they do is
support
good.
them.
You don't have to support every decision they do, but that is very distinct than disowning your own child. And
Do you
I
know-
hope we can all agree.
Do you know
on
what
that
a
here.
limit is? Do you know
Yeah,
what-
you're
do you know-
allowed to
Can I
have.
say
Let's
something?
make a
Stop being
scenario.
so emotional.
Look how mad these hoes are. They don't ever want consequences. There's no consequences that should ever go to a woman. You don't follow the rules your parents give you, and now they have to support you while you go do shit they told you can't do. Yeah, they're not your. You're an adult, sure, right? But there's no obligation from your parent to take care of adult children who are going to fucking men on the internet. Where do you think that right comes from? What woman attorney gave you this privilege?
And be logical for 5
I
seconds.
am being
Can I
logical.
Here,
You
go
know
ahead.
it's-
Go ahead.
For me, so my mom, she's extremely Catholic. She grew up in the Philippines, like the only place where divorce is illegal. And her, when she first found out, obviously there was this.
I want to try to
thing.
reel
I have a
other
big
people
question
into
though.
the
For me, it's
conversation.
like, what if you committed adultery against your wife, and then your kid found out about that and disowned you because
Should
you
my
did
wife
that?
abandon me? Should my wife abandon me when I commit adultery and do something she doesn't?
Your kid is going to abandon you, like by what? Not giving you allowance? Are you talking about a child? Or are you talking about a grown adult? Like, what is she talking about?
Talking about the daughter.
Not gonna make sense
answer
anyway.
my question. Hang on. This
But
is
you
a
didn't answer
perfect.
my
My
question.
wife. So
Is
my.
it a question with a question
Yeah,
now?
yeah. I'll answer.
okay.
So I'll answer. I'll answer. Then you answer. So the answer is yes. I would.
So,
But
sorry. I did say that she could go, so
Yeah.
I'm
I'm
sorry,
sorry,
but
I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Good. So I was saying is I feel like, so me and my mom were distant, at a point when she found out. But then I feel like as a mother, like she just understands, one, from her for a Catholic perspective, it's not mine, it's that Everyone has their own sins. She has no place to judge me because she has her own things. And then the other thing is, she noticed, like when we're talking about bad life choices and your kid coming back when their life's cleaned up, my mom realized I was always just on a better path when I had her love in my life. Like when I was distant from her, then I was going further into things that she didn't want to see me in, because just having your parents' love is just kind of motivating. Having your parents' acceptance, any goal you have of your kid just doing better for themselves will be easier when they know that their parent loves them. Mm-hmm. Even if you know, I don't support this, I don't want to hear about this, but I still love you. Maybe you barely talk to them every day, but okay, for me, I'm diabetic. Do you think my parents would never, they would never stop giving me insulin? I could have done anything in the world. They would always make sure I have my insulin.
Yeah.
Like certain.
Why are they making sure you have insulin, grown-ass woman? Yeah, they have to support you and make sure you have your lunch and make sure they, all your school lunches are paid for. You're a fucking adult, lady. You're showing your butthole on the internet, and they still have to make sure you get your insulin? What the fuck? Yeah, I'm not a parent in that way. Like, I'm not gonna go work into my 70s so that I can go pay for insulin for my fucking kid so she can go show her titties on the internet. That's what they think parenting is. That just the guy, here you go, just the guy that gives you the money. That's it. That's what this comes down to.
Things. You see what I'm saying? I know that's a different extreme, but it's kind of like,
who's,
it's like.
Doc Vinably donated $200. If my daughter did that means I failed her as a father. She would do only if I am dead or in jail. Your fathers are morally weak men.
They are morally weak men.
I guess, could I ask you, who do you think is the example?
Well, I mean, you can say f you, but he's right. Look, the chatter's right.
Can I ask you a question?
Hang on, let me finish my point.
I'm
gonna tell you, right? You do have to be a morally weak man if they know. Like in your case, maybe not, because your dad doesn't know. Okay, but a lot of people that I've talked to here, their dads do know, and they're just
right,
like,
but we're adults.
My dad doesn't like it.
We're adults.
and
We're
we're
able
good.
to make our own decisions.
My dad doesn't like it.
Just let me finish the point. I'm almost done. Okay.
I want y'all to look at this woman right here, the far woman to the right. It's slowly sinking in that when her parents find out that she is fucked because she's a Muslim, and her thing is that her parents don't know she does OnlyFans. Yeah, I love the look on her face right there. She is worried to death because they probably still pay all her bills. Yeah, that fucking OnlyFans money, they make enough to pay for their Coke. That's about it.
Yeah, I think that that's a moral weakness to say, I will enable you. I will enable you to do this threshold breaking thing, especially from a Christian perspective. It's insane. I don't know why anybody would do it. I would say, listen.
You know why? Because real Christians love everyone.
So then why not just make.
No true Scotsman here. All real Christians let me fucking show my pussy. They support me in my nudity. That's what Christianity is to you? Like enabling your sin, that's what Christians are there to do. Just enable your sin because they love you. They just love that you are a whore. They love that.
Everything permissible.
I love the fact that you're like, I'll disown my daughter. That's not.
So everything's permissible.
I didn't think
there's a difference between.
Wait, no.
Deleting someone is not permissible.
No, okay, but all social behaviors, everything, Christians must permit that.
Who's the example in Christianity for
Answer the
parenting?
question.
I feel like.
Ask him that. Who in
I
Christianity?
didn't get an answer to my
You've given her
question.
an
So
answer.
it's like,
I'm asking you the question. Is all forms of social behavior something which are supposed to be permissible to Christians?
I don't think it should be permissible. I think that you should love no matter what.
So then, if
But
it's
that's
not
not
permissible, then I'm not giving permission, which means I'm not endorsing it, which means I'm not allowing it, which means I'm totally against
But
it.
if your kid is an adult, why do you have to allow them to do something?
What do you? I'm not allowing them to.
You would disown.
He would disown
The
them.
question I have for you.
What are you talking about?
Who in Christianity is the example for parenting? Who is it?
You mean in which context? Which saints are you talking about?
What? I'm talking about
There's saints which you can look to as examples in
Okay,
parenting.
who do you look to as the example for parenting?
As the example
Saint
inside of
Thomas
Christianity?
donated
Of course I look at
$200.
Jesus.
One sec.
Honestly, Nala has a special brand of daddy issues. Every girl has a craving for attention. If she doesn't get it from her dad, she will get by being a thought.
So
Here, I need to.
Yeah, look at Jesus Christ.
Do you want to
of
answer?
course.
But like, I do want to. I have so many notes I have to get through. So go ahead. It sounded like you wanted to say something, so.
So I feel like a lot of people think that because of what I do, I have daddy issues or mommy issues or whatever the fuck it is. But it's honestly, it's a self-made choice. I didn't go to my dad and be like, you know, should I do this? And he just gave me like all this advice to do it. You know, I came to them, told them because I wanted to be honest with my parents. They have that reason, like they have that decision to make with their kid if they do something like this. You know what I mean? Like whether they want to be in your life or not. I think it's bad parenting if you don't want to be in your kid's life, no matter what they do. I'm not saying if they like delete someone, that's a great, I don't know. I feel like the line is just too broad here.
So let me ask you this. Can you make the judgment and the value-added judgment on what's bad parenting? I have children. Do you have any?
No.
Okay. And then on top of it, from your parents' perspective, you turned out to go off and do OnlyFans and like show your butthole online for money. How's that great parenting? How could you come to me and say what a great parent should do is
Such a fucking good point. Such a good point. Andrew doesn't have any children showing their buttholes on the internet, so maybe he's doing a better job parenting than your dad, who's endorsing it and trying to get you to continue doing it. You're a degenerate. No one wants their children to turn out like you. No one.
this? You're the perfect example of everything that nobody should listen to for great parenting.
Is Christ a terrible parent because, like, so many of his sons and daughters commit sin? You said Jesus is your example for parenting. Who did Jesus dine with?
This is a hilarious
Who did he dine
argument.
with?
Of course, he died for everybody.
No,
who did he dine? Like eat?
Oh, dine. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Who did he dine with?
In which context? Like his apostles
in
or
Matthew,
when?
in the Gospels. Who did
He would dine with everybody. He'd dine with sinners. He would dine with
Who
saints.
did he call
dine-
godless fools and rejected outright?
Okay, just stop.
Who?
Just get to your point.
He called.
know this.
Well, it's fine if you don't
Oh,
know
should I?
this. The
What?
people he called godless fools was Pharisees, the leaders of the religion. Whereas in
Okay.
the cases of women who were adulterers, tax collectors,
The ones he told to sin no
lepers,
more?
He told them to sin no more,
Sin
but
no
he
more.
still dined with them.
And he told them to sin no more. He
I
said, go and
agree,
sin
but
no more.
disowning is not the same thing as saying sin no more.
Disowning until a behavior is modified.
No.
That's behavior modification.
No,
Sorry.
it's not.
How do you? Oh,
There's a
okay.
million
So-
ways to not. Hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on.
Let her finish.
There's a million ways to condone an action. How do you even reconcile the prodigal son when the father, as the son walks home, says, "You've been my son the whole time."
Mm-hmm.
He never removed it. The son left, and the father allowed him to live out the consequences of that. But the father didn't.
That was back in times whenever a child was sinning, they would have the decency to fucking hide it and get away from their parents. Now, you whores want to fucking stay on the daddy's tit and have him pay for your insurance and do all this shit, maybe pay for your car insurance too, while you're doing this for work. There's a fucking real difference there. They had decency enough to know that they were sinning before. Now y'all are so degenerate. Y'all just think daddy's supposed to support me while I'm fucking taking one up the butthole.
First of all,
the
that's-
father didn't send him away, and when
yeah,
he came back, he threw him a massive party.
Yes,
Oh,
the
the
parable.
prodigal child.
The
prodigal
well,
son.
the parable of prodigal son. But here's the thing: when you're looking at what happened in the results of the prodigal son, the father did not go where the son was, committing all these heinous acts.
We're not saying-
Stop.
We're
let me
not saying you
finish
should
now.
start an OnlyFans. That's all we're
We're not
saying.
saying
Am I allowed to get my point?
We're not saying join OnlyFans.
You're
We're
just gonna
saying you
spur-
don't disown
You're
your
all
child.
spurging. You're all spurging. You're all spurging. Calm down. Let me finish my point. Okay. Dad didn't go where he was. Dad wasn't going and trying to pull him back. He wasn't doing any of this. He was saying, I don't endorse what it is that you're doing, what you're going after. Yes,
not what
he
he
did
said.
say that.
He never
He told
said
him it was a bad idea to leave.
That's a very big difference between
Okay,
saying
he
that
told him it was a
condoned
bad. Now he
everywhere.
left anyway after breaking the fortune, and then when he came back humble, with his
With
tail between
nothing.
his legs, crying
Which women are incapable of doing.
his eyes out, did his father say, "You've now returned to me, the prodigal son, and now all is forgiven."
You have always
Yeah.
is the key word here. You've always been
They're
my
still
son.
always your kid.
Not if
but
you
that
disown
doesn't
them.
mean-
Does she think their DNA changed? They don't get your DNA anymore if you fucking disown them? They just don't get your money, bitch.
That doesn't mean
Or
you
your attention.
Not if you disown them.
That doesn't mean you have to enable
is,
it.
in the cases of, like, did he not go with them to, like, go and slut it up with whores and
Mm-hmm.
blow money on crack? No, he didn't. But she's not saying, "Hey, Dad, come do OnlyFans with me. You should."
My
start
dad
it
is
with
nowhere
me."
in my life.
Yeah, but my point
Physically.
is that again, when he came back humble, when he came back correct, when he came back from doing the horrible things that he was doing, then Dad said, yes, welcome back in. You were always my son. Of course, I never stopped loving you. But he was not endorsing all the
At
things
no
that the
point was
kid-
he disowned,
Let
though.
me finish. He was not endorsing all the things the kid was doing. He was
I'm
not
not
going out of
asking
his
you
way to make sure that the kid had additional money to continue sinning where he was at. He wasn't doing
I'm
any
not
of
asking that. I'm not saying any of these things. The issue is that if Christ is the example for parenting and he loves you every single step of the way,
He's not the only example.
disowning your child is the opposite of that thing. Now, I am fine with parents getting to decide if
So stop giving them money is the same as not loving them anymore. Because in their minds, that's all the parent is for. It's just an ATM. That's how they view their dads. ATMs. Moms are for the love and dads for the money. So when you disown them, you're really breaking their heart while they're getting butt fucked. Too bad.
if you're like don't want to like support that, they tell them explicitly like I would be fine with a relationship. Like my parents are Christian, my brother's gay. I'm fine with them regularly being
Can the
like,
Catholic
"This is
Church
ridiculous."
excommunicate people?
Yes, but the Catholic Church is in no way the same thing as a
Yeah,
Christian.
so if the Catholic
is.
Church excommunicates somebody, are you saying that what they're doing...
Why do they excommunicate?
finish.
Hold
Is
on,
the
that's an
Stop,
extremely
Holy
important
stop.
fuck, we're getting...
Stop.
Okay, make a final point, and I'm
Okay,
moving
I'll
on.
make it
Christ
quick.
friends with
Okay.
Paul.
If you make
Why we
if
actually-
Mary Magdalene was
if you make an
apostate.
excommunication, why is it that they're not turning their back on their children?
Okay, an excommunication at an apostolic level of the Catholic Church is about godless fools. It's about
Not always.
Pharisees. That is why the Eastern Orthodox was removed. They broke up with
They
you
didn't-
because
they-
they
no, the other
thought that
way.
you got
It
no.
was the other way
I know
around.
you guys broke up with us after, but that's just not true. The reason that they were
Wait, you're a
excommunicated.
Catholic?
I'm not a Catholic, but I'm
Yeah,
like
come on,
theologically
you're not a
Catholic.
Yeah.
I'm more Catholic than I am Eastern
Okay,
Orthodox.
20 seconds,
The reason
go.
that churches excommunicate is because they're violating the nature of God himself, not because they're doing a sin that they dislike. It's extremely different, and these types of sins, like blaspheming the Holy Spirit, is in no way comparable to moral sins or virtue sins, which maybe OnlyFans is moral sins, or maybe it's a virtue sin. I'm not sure where it falls specifically, but acting like the church can excommunicate so parents can excommunicate their children is a bastardization of why the Catholic Church
All assertions, all because I say so, because that's the way I feel, and I can't back anything up. I don't even know why they let them talk in these debates, because all you're going to do is say your assertion and then act like that's fucking fact. It's a bastardization because I say so. You just said you don't even know if it's a fucking moral fucking sin.
does this in the
Jesus.
So let's look at this logically to what you're saying, not what the
She is
distinction,
Final point,
which
final
the
point,
distinctions
final
in the
point.
reasoning are. Yeah, I know. I'm just trying to respond. What the distinction in the reasonings are. Let's look at this from a holistic. You claimed, listen, because Jesus Christ said thing X, it's not proper for you to then say, nope, I'll walk away from this. But it is proper for the Catholic Church to do the same thing under the same circumstances. And your only claim to this is to say
It's
that they
disanalogous.
rejected
It's
that they
disanalogous.
rejected Christ. So the same thing happens
No,
exactly
sin is
here.
not rejecting Christ.
Oh,
and
it
you
can
know
be
that.
rejecting Christ.
Yes, blaspheming,
Yes.
Blaspheming the
blaspheming
Yes.
the Holy Spirit.
But here's the
is.
thing, what
But
I'm-
what the
yeah.
what the Pharisees did was bad enough.
Thank God he
You're
shut that bitch
disanalogous
off.
And you're being dishonest. with saying.
No, that's not. They're not disanalogous. This is your logic.
No, this is the logic of like
You guys
all of the
can-
No, it's just your
theology
logic.
of
Okay.
the Catholic
Here,
Right.
wait, interlude. Can we? But it's weird.
All the theologians on TikTok. That's what she meant to say.
Why is it weird? She said it was weird. I don't know what she said. Why is it weird? Say what you want to say.
I just feel like it's none of your business, like anyone's business to like know what anyone's body count is, like, and quite frankly, like I wouldn't even want to
Means
know
it's high.
from another guy, because then like if it's a
Okay.
number I don't want to hear, like I'm not gonna like you.
All
anymore.
right. Well, maybe we'll come back to that. We'll continue going around the table. I want to get everybody's answers. Go ahead.
No.
You don't object to? Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
No, I think it's fair to, for that to put you off. But I would also say that maybe
Sweet Tooth, thank you for the gifted 20 memberships. Maybe.
I would say that maybe don't discount somebody because of that, because that's not necessarily. I mean, you could really miss out on somebody good who has a past that maybe doesn't align with your virtues, but also maybe they've grown from that, and so yeah.
I'd probably still discount them, but.
Yes, absolutely.
I don't object.
Oh, okay. So just to bring it back, why is it weird?
It's invasive.
What's invasive?
The whole body count phenomena.
What do you mean?
More invasive than what you did to get that body count?
To like.
Here, let me paint this. Let me give you a scenario. Let me give you a scenario. Let's say the guy doesn't even ask. He just knows because you've been friends with, maybe he's been in your social circle.
We can tell.
And he's known you for 3 years, and he's known you've gone out to parties and bars. He's heard it through the grapevine that you've slept with 20 men in the past 3 years. He doesn't ask you outright. Is
That girl just thought it was rookie numbers.
it invasive then for the guy to not want to date you because you've slept with 20 men in the past 3 years?
No, but I do think it's heavily judgmental.
It's heavily judgmental. So you object to judging people. Didn't you say earlier that your allowance, well, not allowance, but
It's
you
not
need a
allowance.
guy to spend $5,000 to $10,000 on you a month?
I said that's the average amount of probably what it would come to if you're putting like fun things, like the average relationship expenses into play, but definitely not an allowance.
Would you date a guy who works at McDonald's?
No.
So you're judging
What kind
him
of judgment is that?
That's
Right,
a judgment.
but no,
You
but-
could have been
but
missing out on like the best burger flipper ever, and he's just passing by.
Yeah, these hoes are worried you're going to miss out on a really great girl. But they're passing up on McDonald's workers who could be really great guys. Smells like a delusion to me.
How judgy.
I don't know. I think body counts between like 10 to 30 in today's society is like normal, honestly.
Let me ask a different question I'm just curious about. Assume right this second you enter into this dating market. I don't know much about the dating market. I've been off it for a long time, and thank God for that. But let's say you enter into it right now and you were a virgin. Would it be invasive if somebody asked your body count then?
Yes. I still wouldn't tell anybody because I feel like guys take advantage of women who
Bullshit.
have low sexual experience.
How do they take advantage? How
do you
they
think?
take advantage?
Do you think then that
Cope.
most women's answers, when they answer that it's invasive or they don't like it or this type of thing, because they have themselves a high body count?
Not necessarily. I don't even consider myself to be in that category. I
I
just
do.
don't think it's a man's business. Like why? Like what benefit do you gain knowing who I've slept with in the past? Like,
So we can disqualify you from dating.
Yeah, but I agree
No
with
one
what
had
she's
asked me
saying
that.
too. Because sometimes ignorance
can
is worse.
tell.
Like, let's say hypothetically you meet
Give me the red pill.
That's the blue pill.
Okay, let's
Ignorance is
say
bliss.
I want to know so I can make a determination of, do I want to date this person, yes or no? I don't want, I would want that information. That way I can make a determination.
Yeah, but let's say in every single aspect of this one person, let's say you've been meeting people and it's never worked out with anyone, and you meet this one person, they're absolutely perfect in every single aspect, and then
But-
except this one thing.
but they have
that
a
you
body
find-
count of
that you
100?
find out later. Okay, not 100, but you said what you consider high is 10. Let's say it's
Well,
20.
I'm using the extreme, I'm using the extreme on both sides. So the extreme is, this is the perfect woman.
Butler donated $200.
Thank you.
Since 1 in 3 women aged 16 to 30 has a STD now, and condoms don't protect from genital herpes, body count matters.
Yep.
Feminism turned your lady
yep.
parts into a radioactive wasteland. I'm gonna go vomit now.
Radioactive, by the way. Here, let me drop the nuke. Actually, Nick, could you click the nuke red? Click nuke red. Yeah, radioactive wasteland. There it is, folks. Look at that. Holy, that's what it's looking like. All right, Nick, you can. Yeah, okay. So to use an extreme on both ends, you're saying, well, the perfect woman, she's perfect in every way. She's a 10 out of 10. She's blah, whatever. But
If she's perfect in every way, she ain't going to be on OnlyFans anyway, and she's not going to be a hoe.
here's the extreme on the other end. She has slept with over 100 men.
Yeah.
That's a no.
But wouldn't you rather just not know? Like you want to keep her as this perfect
No, I
being
want the
and you
truth.
don't-
I would not care until after I nut and run for the door. Like, as I'm whipping a condom off. Yeah. Yeah.
Truth über alles.
Well, let's just.
I want the truth
But
overall.
let's just kind of grant it though.
You know what?
And say your preference is that you didn't know, because for you, right, not knowing is a thing that you would prefer.
Yeah.
Because I
Would you say there
I
would
don't
be
really
any
care.
problem though?
Like I honestly don't.
Would you say there'd be any problem though for a person who did want to know? They did want to know the truth. Maybe
Well-
ignorance is bliss for you is true, but maybe for another person, ignorance is bliss. Not so true.
But like, why do they want to know so badly? And like, with the thing with STDs, you
Why
can
do you
get
want to
an
be so
STD
ignorant
test.
so badly?
Literally, well, I just don't really care. It's not that I want that so badly, and it's like
This is so much cope. All of them have high body counts and they're just coping here. I don't know how to make this any more clear. Like you could tell.
my boyfriend comes to me and he's gonna tell me his body count. I'd like run away and close my
Right,
ears
but
and
your
everything.
pushback is, but ignorance is bliss. It's like, okay, that's fair enough. It's true. Maybe if you're ignorant about something and you didn't have any foreknowledge to it, you might go a certain way. Like, okay, maybe, but if another person had the preference to not be ignorant on the topic, what still would be the objection? Other than you just kind of think it's icky, right? That's really it. When you get down to the value judgment, in other words, aren't you guys really just saying, I think it's icky? I think it's yucky. There's not really anything else to that?
If she was a virgin, it wouldn't be icky at all. She'd be proudly to announcing it to everyone because she'd be the last one.
It's like someone's privacy, like their personal life. Like to me, this is something that's very intimate, and it's
Is
like,
it?
private.
And that's
Oh, is
what
it intimate if you have a high body count?
Yeah, that.
Well,
yeah,
no,
yeah,
but
yeah.
I think I think Izzy and I kind of see similar to this on this particular topic because we're not using this as an excuse to be promiscuous, and sleep with a bunch of guys. I'm just saying I think it's rude for a man to ask a lady how many guys have you slept with.
It's not rude.
I recently actually spoke to a guy about this, and I think him and I like kind of agreed.
They keep talking, it's going to become a crime soon enough. It's a crime. You can't even find that information out. It's unlisted. You can't find it out no more.
On the standpoint, like, we don't need to know each other's body counts, but if we both are in an area
Cool. You can't find out his credit score then, bitch. You money covered bitch.
and you see somebody that you slept with, do me the favor and let me know. And we're in the same area, and I'll do the same.
That's
But, like,
asking you your body count, just in a different
no,
way.
it's just like
If you slept with a dude, could you just point him out? That's not invasive. but the alternative of asking you how many you slept with is too invasive.
like if
For real?
if we're like at a party or something.
That
just
sounds
just-
10 times
no,
worse
no,
to
ju-
me.
no, just so they don't make a fool out of themselves and the person is there.
These dumb bimbos don't think that there's any kind of humiliation for a man to be dating a girl and they walk into a bar and there are 3 guys in there who all fucking tag teamed with her. They rotisserie to her. They don't think there's any kind of humiliation for that. The guy's just supposed to go, okay, dear, and just walk past these guys who have all been very intimate with your girlfriend. That is humiliating. If you know that a girl has done stuff like that, you will not date her for sure. You might fuck her still, but you will not date her.
But like to go out and ask for a number like that, that's just
And
wild.
that's
And I'll never
actually
give it to you.
Just point out the person, right? It's like, what?
This
Come
is
on.
actually a great reason why men ought to date women with low body counts. So the likelihood of you being in a scenario where you're in the same room as another man who's fucked your woman, you're just almost making our argument
Yeah.
for us.
In fact, that's your demand. You're like, hey, I had a conversation with a guy,
No,
and he
but-
was like, look, if you've been in a room with other dudes that you've been,
No, but
can you
it's-
point them out? That's literally asking you your body
No,
count.
but stuff happens. Like sometimes you be like out at a party.
It just
and, like,
happens. Yeah, it
something
happens.
Food just happens, and you're like, damn, like that's.
You know how it is. You're at a party sometimes, and you're just hanging
You
out,
just
and
see
then
3
walk in
people,
people you've slept with.
3
That's
people
how
like
it
you
works.
had
what?
sexual intercourse with at the party.
Okay. It's
Wait,
if you have a small circle, like it's sometimes you see people out. It's true.
How many people in the small circle have you had sexual intercourse with? God damn.
All
Imagine
of
like
them.
a college
Enough to point 'em
campus,
out.
For example, like a college campus, like people in college be doing craziness. Like
That's true.
you bound. To
She
see
sure
somebody
does.
There. Like you should, like like it's not like that.
Look, okay. I'm still not sure why it's weird. I have a question for the ladies, though. Would you date a guy who had sex with men?
No.
Like they're bisexual.
Yeah, sure. He previously had sex with men. Would you date him?
I've never really thought about it.
Think about it right now.
I mean, as long as like I don't see what difference it would make if they're bi.
okay. Okay. Are you bi?
No,
Okay.
I'm straight.
What about you?
I've been close. I've like kissed a
sexual.
Would you have a long-term relationship with a guy who's had sex with men?
Yeah, I think I could do it.
You
Brian, she fucks dudes with no jobs. She don't really give a fuck. She'll just fuck anything. So I doubt if they care.
she thinks she could do it.
I could do it.
What about you?
Hard no.
But hold on. That's not any of your business. That's his
What kind of
past.
value judgment is that?
That is a value judgment.
Yeah, sorry. Nope. It's my business because that same
Oh.
individual's thing has been in like a man's thing, and it's really my business.
Well, wait a second.
Yeah, no.
There's a little.
So it's not his business whenever men have been in her butthole, but it is her business if men have been in his butthole. I mean, I kind of understand a little bit, but yeah, it's the whole point. That's the point. We don't like it either. And we're not talking about one guy. We're probably talking about a whole football team.
Well, cognitive dissonance going on here. Because you're saying you have no right to know my past and what I ever did.
Exactly.
Yeah, my
And so what
my
if-
straight heterosexual past.
So then,
yes.
what if you're hanging out and you're dating a guy and you really like him and he's like the one, and he spends the $10,000 a month on you, the whole nine.
But this
you
is
know what I
not-
mean?
this-
And you
don't
just
twist my word.
one day you just like pick up the phone and this guy's like, yeah, it's Chuck, and I used to sleep with this dude. Would you dump him?
Immediately.
It sounds like a value judgment.
It does sound like a
It sounds
value
like
judgment.
judgment.
Call it what you want. I can't be with a man like that. I'm sorry.
Going around the table, would you?
And that's why we don't want to be with a woman like you either. Guys don't want to picture guys inside of their woman, and women obviously don't want to picture guys inside of their men. Rightly so. But it's the same thing back.
Have a long-term relationship with a guy who had sex with men.
Depends on compatibility in other
thought you-
aspects, but no.
Okay, but no. Okay.
Yes. I'm pretty sure that's a no.
Absolutely not.
Are we supposed to answer this one? I don't know. Okay. Well, okay. So some of you said body count does matter. Some of you said body count doesn't matter, shouldn't matter. You don't object to men caring about body count. So it begets the question, what's your body count? Starting with you.
Over 100.
From you, going this way.
I'm not answering because I think that should
Thought it
be
didn't matter.
private between me and my boyfriend.
But it doesn't
thought you
matter.
said body count doesn't matter, shouldn't matter.
I mean, I don't know. I also said it's no one's business.
You don't have to answer.
Okay. What about you?
I'm genuinely not sure.
Range.
Big shock.
Like
Or over X number.
no more than 20.
Times 3.
10 to 20, I would say.
Okay.
Decline the question.
Doesn't
I thought
matter,
body
though.
count didn't matter.
It's nobody's business.
Okay.
Ditto.
Private.
0, waiting for marriage.
I'm sorry, you spoke. You got, guys, please. We do need you to speak.
I said 0, I'm waiting for marriage.
Oh, that's really nice.
Good for you.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. It's marriage.
No commentary is directed at her.
Okay. It's interesting, though. You guys say body count
Well
doesn't
done.
matter, but you do refuse to answer the question. I find that interesting.
I think privacy, my right to my privacy, is what is important to me, and I don't want to share it on the internet.
That's
May I
fine.
ask you
That's fine.
something?
I do think it's
I
interesting.
have
Feels like it
a
matters.
question too that
Yeah.
I'm just curious about, kind of folding into this.
My question is, I can respect your position, but then this podcast is famous, sometimes infamous, for asking these questions, so I wouldn't go on it if that was my
Yeah.
position.
Yeah, but I had the option to decline to answer.
Well, I suppose you could decline to answer every single question we ask you, but
Yeah, and then I'd
Won't
probably
be back.
would never come back here. Like
Right.
get invited back.
Some things just don't need to be on the internet. Like if you wanted to be on the internet,
look, you
cool.
don't have to answer the question. It's fine. It's
Numbers that big can't fit on the internet.
just like it kind of, your whole position of, well, body count shouldn't really matter. Men shouldn't really care about it. But I also really want to reserve that information because you think you'll be judged on it.
Well, I have a different question I'm curious about. So all of you guys almost unanimously said if a guy had ever been with another guy that's like no, right off the gate, which by the way is awesome. But let
Andrew, stop! You're gonna get canceled, dude.
They're
They're gonna cancel you.
Let me ask this a different way. Should a guy be able to, or should a guy get together with a woman who has had same-sex activity?
With another woman?
With a woman. So a woman, it's same-sex activity with a woman. Should a man get together with her?
Men love that.
Double standards. Double standards. Hello.
It's a little different.
Oh, is it?
Oh, you think so?
What? No. What's the difference? If the standard is you had a same-sex relationship, so that's a no-go. But if this sex had a same-sex relationship, that's a-okay.
I mean, that's up to you. You know what I mean? If that bothers you, but I don't think it bothers most men.
Don't bother me.
Yeah, I mean, maybe not, but we're still holding the standard here, right? What makes it a no-go for you guys? If a man was in a same-sex relationship for you not to date him, what is that force that drives you where you're like, no?
I think masculinity and femininity are very different. So when it comes to same-sex relationships with men, like men and then women, I just think it's a lot more. It's a bigger leap to go same-sex with a man than.
That doesn't really answer the question at all. So, like, the question specifically is this same-sex activity between two men. You're like, no go, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fair enough. Why?
Because it's very emasculating.
I can explain this for Andrew. Because dicks ruin everything. You see another dick in your picture with your girlfriend, it ruins her. Dicks ruin everything. That's why. Vagina's nice. I like seeing it everywhere. I don't mind watching that.
In my
What if
opinion,
he's a
that's pretty. That's kind of as emasculating as it could get.
That's it? It's just a masculinity issue?
Yeah, I think so.
There's no other
I mean, it's
underlying
also
reason?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's
That
not
too.
into that, but you
But
know.
there is, right? There's
Yeah.
other underlying
Oh,
reasons
sure,
there,
sure.
right?
But that's and also I don't know if that would apply to female same-sex situations.
Why?
Because there's different body parts getting involved.
Yeah, I'm not.
Okay.
I just don't understand the standard.
When there's penetration, when there really doesn't always mean there is going to be. Just licking sniz doesn't mean penetration. So I can kind of see what she's saying. She's not saying it very well, though.
I guess.
If I can jump in on that, though. So if you guys are kind of repulsed by the thought of men doing that, then like the thought of you.
This is also like a perspective thing, right? When I picture a girl messing with another girl, I picture them kissing in a bar. Maybe they go make out for a little bit. Maybe they touch each other's butts. You know, whatever. Just playful girl shit you used to see in bars. But you think of a dude getting pile driven in the butthole by another dude is a fucking different thing. It is just different. I'm kind of siding with the hose on this one. That one is much more gross than two chicks licking. It just is. It's nasty.
Doing that with other men, that's kind of how we
look
feel.
at it, right? To draw it all home, that's the same way that we would feel the opposite
About
way.
you guys
Right.
being with
Other men.
it's not perfect. It's not perfect.
I mean, I
It's a little
It doesn't
different,
map
but
on one-to-one, but
Yeah.
you could get the preference
You
here.
get it, right?
I understand, and that's kind of why I'm like, I don't really encourage promiscuity. Like I actually.
If they pull out a strap on, though, they lose the whole debate there because that's the only really thing. If you don't have the penetration, maybe you could say that. But if they pull out a strap on, hey, same thing.
actually prefer to be like with one person
Still wanna watch.
for long extended periods of time.
Beautiful.
But
Great.
to each his own, like it's your body, you know.
Speaking of which, this is actually why I refuse to date a woman who's had sex on camera with another man. Speaking of Sean Evans, call back to 2 hours ago. If a woman has had sex with a man on camera, that is a 100% a deal breaker for me. You're out.
Do you mean like a home flick or
You
OnlyFans?
are out. Out you go, afuera. Where's my f***ing soldier? Wait, how did that get turned on?
Do you
Holy
mean like
fuck.
do you
Wait.
mean like a private movie or like a OnlyFans?
No, he's talking
how
about
would I-
like public
yeah,
for
public-
public
for public
consumption.
viewing,
yeah.
Okay.
Public viewing. Yeah, yeah.
About to
of course,
disagree.
of course. You said you wanted to discuss age gaps in dating and what is appropriate. So why don't we start with you, and I will open it up to the whole panel. Go ahead.
That's a good question. I think if the age gap is relatively large, and I know this can be subjective, it does definitely rub me the wrong way, whether it's the man that's younger or the woman that's way younger. Like, in both ways, it just feels a little bit predatory.
Predatory. Okay. I think before we weigh in on that, I do want to get the answer from the rest of the panel. So you think it's a bit predatory? Do you want to add to your answer at all, or?
No, I'll like let everyone else.
Okay. So you feel it's weird. You think it's predatory. Okay.
It gives me.
She just said it's predatory in both directions, and I kind of disagree with that because I did date a nurse when I was in high school, and I still had to pursue her. I still had to like go rent a movie from Blockbuster and go to her apartment. I had to like pursue her. It wasn't like she was chasing me and trying to get me or anything. So I don't know. I think the guys are kind of more predatory with that in both situations because I was a little wild back then. But men are the ones who have to pursue even in those situations. At least in my experience, I didn't get any of them that just singled me out and brought me out behind class or anything.
Icky vibes.
It gives you icky vibes. Okay.
How much of an age gap are we talking?
I mean, that's up to each individual, but
I don't know.
Well, you're currently in an age gap relationship, isn't that correct?
Something like that.
What do you mean? Well, you said you're 22, he's 32, right?
Around there. Yes.
So what do you mean around there? He's older than 32.
Like 10, 15 years older than me.
How old is he? Just say how old he is.
I don't know. People are watching. I don't put people on blast. But like.
What's the age gap?
Like 14 years.
Okay, so you're 22, so he's 36.
About there, yeah.
Maybe it's more. Okay, well, just here.
Yeah.
You're friends with her. Do you object to her relationship? Do you think her relationship is predatory?
Well, so I've met.
Wait, did you just say a little bit?
What? No. I mean like.
I might have heard wrong, but it sounded like you whispered a little bit.
No. I was saying like, no, it's not predatory.
Oh, okay.
No.
So you're friends with her. She's dating this guy. Do you think that that's a predatory relationship?
Well, having actually met this person and like gotten to know him, no. So of course.
Well, cool. They'll just have you go interview all the arrestees in jail to see if they should go to jail or not. It either is or it isn't.
It does depend on.
So it's okay for your friends to have age gaps
as long as they meet her.
Okay.
For me, I also said it was subjective how big of the age gap it is.
Well,
Well, what if it was 4 years older than he is now? Then would it be too much?
Well,
But
okay,
I don't
for
think
me,
that's a large age gap though.
What's large?
for
Yeah,
me, a
what's
large age gap
large?
is if they're within 5 years of like one of my parents' ages. So like my youngest parent is my stepdad. He's 40. So yeah, I guess 35.
He still might make it. He still
that's-
might make
I'm
that.
pushing it. Like that's
Well,
a pretty big age gap.
So
for
me personally, I don't object to as long as they're both adults. But I would say that most people who do object to age gaps would probably find her age gap relationship objectionable. She's 22. Like I don't find it objectionable, but I think a lot of people would, who object to age gaps would. She's 22 dating a 36-year-old, 14-year age gap.
Yeah, in this case, you just said it's okay because.
I mean,
yeah,
I
met
say
the
it
guy.
was for older guys anyway.
I
you
was
know?
still like, I was still a little bit concerned, like wanting to know what his intentions were. So it does depend on the person at the end of the day. Like you can make these.
So then they're not
generalizations.
predatory then.
No.
I mean.
They can't be predatory if they're not predatory, right? They're only predatory based on the individuals, right?
Yeah.
So that could be true about a 22-year-old, 23-year-old could be predatory.
So just for context, I mean, I was interested in somebody before who was a little bit older than 35, 36, and that felt very predatory.
Because of the individual involved.
It felt predatory because she was interested in some guy who was older. Were you the predator? What do you mean? You just said you were interested in him.
Because of the individual.
But you said you were interested in him.
Well, both vice versa, right? But I'm saying the dynamic itself kind of felt very predatory, right? Like
why?
Like, you know, like we just didn't have anything in common. Like going out, the looks.
What do you mean the looks?
You know, because.
But you said you were.
Other people looking at them decided for her that he was predatory by wanting to fuck her. Bubblegum. They all have bubblegum between their ears.
Interested in him.
We were both interested in each other, but I'm saying like that relationship compared to like this one now feels very different. Like I don't really even notice the age gap, but I do prefer older men. Like I don't think I could date somebody my age.
They can't afford you. That's all you're saying.
But so why was that specific one predatory?
We didn't have anything in common.
So if you don't have something in like, so let's say a 23
why
and
would
a
you be
20
interested in him?
No,
like,
no,
but let's say
after a
a
while.
23 and a 22-year-old have nothing in common.
She fucks all the guys her age, and then she dates the guys who can afford to pay for her shit. They're not understanding this. She just told you she has like 100 body count almost, probably, because she won't tell you. And she just said 30 or 40 was not that uncommon. So she definitely has a high body count. So she's fucking the guys at school and dating the guys who can afford to take her places. That's what she's trying to tell y'all without telling you.
That was just one of the things.
Is it predatory to not have anything in common with somebody?
No. That was just one of the things. He like aged poorly, so like.
But you said you were interested in him.
I was interested
How is him
in him at
aging
one
poorly
point.
mean he's predatory?
No,
Jesus Christ.
I said it felt weird. Like maybe feeling weird is a better way to describe it. But the dynamic
So because other people look at you and because he didn't take care of his skin, he's a predator.
just did not flow very well.
But you said
and
it was
and
predatory.
it felt inappropriate.
Yeah, but that's the part, the inappropriate, predatory, whatever that is, right?
Right, because I think when I first started engaging with this person, I kind of had a blinders on to the actual age gap itself because everything was just going so great and so quickly.
So you ignored the age in lieu of what?
Money.
And in lieu of
Stuff and shit? Stuff and things?
No, just it was very.
Was it for stuff and things?
It was very exciting.
Was it for stuff
Getting
and
new shit
things?
is.
Did you ignore the age gap for stuff and things?
I would say more experiences. It was very exciting.
Trips, vacations.
But experiences like stuff and
Like,
things?
I'll just give an example. I hope he's not watching this. I really do. So like, when was this? Last February, I was intending to go to New York for spring break with my friends, and I was just chatting to him about it. And he was like, no, don't go by yourself. Like, I'll arrange the whole trip and arrange like a week stay at a beautiful.
Here comes the things. Let's hear about the things.
It was just like an unforgettable experience, but a lot of attention to detail. Like, it was like, wow,
So for the material gains, you ignored the age. Hang on. For the material gains, you ignored the age, right?
But he was also a really, really funny guy. Dressed very well too. It's just after a while, I was just like, this is just not gonna work. I'm not very attracted to you at all.
So for the
It just
material
felt weird.
gains,
I never told him to do this. He did this for me.
And this is why I don't pay for shit with women. I'll pay for dinner, but I don't fucking pay for anything else. If you need gas to meet me, you're a scammer. I'm not doing that. That's scammer shit. This is a scammer.
right? No, I get it, but I'm just saying, like, well, I'm not attracted to you, right? This isn't really going anywhere. But thanks for the shit, right? Like, I mean, right? Is that basically what happened?
I mean, after a while, yes, it did fizz out.
All
yes,
right.
correct. But compared to this one is like fresh and like sexy,
This check's still clear. That's translation
Getting
for
everybody
you.
else's
Check's clear.
thoughts on age gap relationships.
General answer, no. Again, it depends on the individuals involved.
Well, of course, but
I mean,
Yeah.
okay, all right.
I mean, again, keeping it genuine. There are times, like if I saw a 50-year-old man dating an 18-year-old girl, admittedly, I'd get the ick.
Wait, wait. Sorry. An older man dating a what?
Like an 18-year-old girl.
Oh, 18-year-old girl. Okay.
That being said, actually, listening to you on this podcast, I've learned I need to set aside my feelings and think about, okay, what is the morality of the situation?
Right.
So if I look at that, no problemo, they're
No
both
problem.
adults.
Right. So this is the thing, right? All the objections are always just, I don't like this. Why? I don't know. And it's just like, well, then I don't give a shit, right? That's just me.
I think the only valid maybe like argument you could make there is like your cognitive function isn't quite set in until you're about 25.
No, that's not even true for everybody.
I heard that was fake news.
It is fake news. In fact, the series of sociological studies, which you would be referencing to bring up the cognitive
think that was some
disparity
neuroscience
between But no, these are sociological studies, neuroscience especially will be this inside of the neuroscientific field especially. What you're talking about is one specific part of the brain which isn't fully developed in a human adult female until they're 26
What did they say?
years
The
old.
prefrontal cortex, is that it?
That's
Yeah.
one part, but the thing is, it's like, but how much? Does it?
But is it-
does
it's
it
not a-
diminish your cognitive ability by 1%?
I mean, it rings true for
Hmm.
me. I do feel like once I got to about 25, like
Yeah, but you
I
have
just
a whole ton of
had
experience.
a lot more ability to make better decisions.
But the problem with this is, let's assume for a second that every year you got older, it increased your cognitive ability or whatever by 1% or 2% or something like this. Some, kind of smallish type percentage. Now let's assume that that never occurred. It just stopped at 2% less than what it is now, or 1% less than it is now, and you had the same exact 10 years of experience. You would still be way fucking smarter than you would be when you were 16 or 18 or 19 or 20. You would still be. So the question becomes, is it experience, or is it the fact that your brain's not completely 100% developed until you're 26 years old? That just seems absurd to me. It's like you weren't that much smarter at 26 than you were at 24 or even at 22.
Obviously, it's progressive.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But is it progressive due to experience or because your brain isn't completely developed till you're 26? That's the question.
I mean, I think that is what the studies show, is that your prefrontal cortex kind of completely, it's sort
That's
of.
not even true for everybody.
Can we Google the whole 25
Well, no, you can't because
prefrontal cortex
there's
thing?
multiple data samples on this, and no, it's not showing that you somehow get like when you turn 26, the day you turn 26, you're like, oh, eureka, my brain's done developing. Now I can go get that man that I want. Doesn't that just seem absurd on its face?
No, I don't think it's like a happens in one night.
Right. Well, it doesn't
Obviously, we
happen.
have to-
It happens. It's a gradual transition. But if you're 23 versus 26, how much more intelligent are you because of your brain development? That's the question. I think it's a question of
18
experience.
versus 26. I think everybody.
But
would
that's a
agree.
question of experience, not necessarily a question of
fair
brain
enough.
function. So I'm saying that
Maybe both.
This dummy's not understanding either. Yeah, you're a lot more experienced at 26 because you make mistakes at 18. Right. So if you don't make those mistakes and date those older men, you don't learn from your mistakes. Like some of them will be mistakes, some will be good experiences, and you might decide you want to date older men. But you've got to get through it. You can't, yes, the experience you get at 18 will contribute to what you know when you're 26. That's how brains work.
Both.
The distinction between your brain at 18 and 26, you'd have to demonstrate that it's so significant that if you were to leave it the same and give the same amount of experience between those two ages, there'd be some massive difference. That's what those studies fail to show. That's my whole problem with it.
I mean, I haven't actually looked at studies. I don't know if you have, but
I have. This comes up quite often, and that's my whole problem with it. It's like, well, let's see what would happen if we were able to demonstrate, well, we stopped it from 20 to 26, and they have the exact same experiences, how much of a different person would they be? That's a much larger question. So I'm not willing to just say, well, because the brain's not fully developed, the day they turn 26, they can go get what they
yeah, but I think you at least you would agree that an 18-year-old probably isn't as good at making judgments as a 25, 26-year-old.
Well, then should they be able to vote against a 26-year-old and cancel out their very well-informed vote?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought
You don't
about
know?
that.
Well, if they should, if you're saying that, well, the experience of an 18-year-old woman is such that she could never make the same type of judgment call that a 50-year-old man can, fair enough, then why should she be able to cancel out his vote?
I mean, I've never stated that I believe that she
That's
should.
why I asked.
Why do we let them drive? They're really bad at it, and maybe that's because their brain isn't developed. Has anyone thought of that?
Should she?
I mean, I don't know. I haven't thought about it.
Well, you should think about it because this is the same type of argument. It's like, at what point are they an adult? And if they're an adult, are they an adult or are they not? And if they're not, when are they? And if they're not, what responsibilities should they have or shouldn't they have? Because I'm not willing to be like, well, Johnny, you can go to war, but you can't go after a 50-year-old woman. It's like, well, no, I'm not so sure I'm willing to make that call. Or, hey, Tim, yeah, sure, you got drafted, but you can't smoke till you're 21 because, well, society's just said it gives them the ick, right? It gives them the ick that you smoke, Timmy. Now, go over and fight the enemies of the United States. That just seems absurd to me. You know what I mean? So when I look at it, I'm like,
I mean, I agree with that.
Yeah, if this is an experience-based thing, right? Well, 18-year-old woman could be drafted. If an 18-year-old woman was drafted, then is she cognitive enough and smart enough to go out with a 50-year-old man?
Should be drafted at all.
Yeah,
I
but
think
if
women should be drafted.
But if they were, but let's just say that they
Right. You shouldn't be voting either, bitch. Why you get to vote if you don't fucking get drafted?
were, that
They
women-
should be drafted.
Women like men were drafted.
saying.
It's like there's a war, right? We need you in the field. You're drafted, just like 18-year-old Johnny over there. Okay.
I mean, also,
Can she go for a 50-year-old man then? Is she smart enough then to make those decisions?
I think legally she should be able to. I agree with the legal age of 18.
What's the
we
moral?
have to set some age.
So what's the moral argument?
Well, the moral argument is like everything is nuanced. So I mean, you have to look at every unique
The
situation.
moral
but
argument is that everything is nuanced.
I'm saying things have nuance. So
yeah,
it's
I
like,
know things have nuance, but there's
we're
no.
just talking like, okay, here's stock 18-year-old girl and stock 50-year-old man. Like, I think there's a reason why people may get uncomfortable when they hear that, and I think it's valid. It probably comes out of a real.
Do you think that your grandparents were uncomfortable with that? Your great grandparents were uncomfortable with that?
I
Because the
haven't
answer
asked them,
is
but
not really. It was not a huge social issue of the time.
I think it has been actually.
No, it hasn't been. It was never a big social issue that there
I
was
mean,
these
we
large
didn't just
age
go.
gaps.
I know back like
Mhm.
like probably like 2,000 years ago, it wasn't.
Well, let me give you a different example. Let's say World War II, by the end of World War II, France's male population had been decimated, mostly the young men, because they just had 2 world wars. The female population wasn't decimated. Age gaps were pretty wide, right? By necessity, how are you going to procreate, right? There's no other men except these. Is it immoral then?
I'm not saying it. I've never made the blatant statement that it's immoral, though.
Right. So I mean, is it situationally immoral, or is it just really that it gives you the ick?
I think it's situationally immoral. Like to try. It's a slightly different situation, but I'll try.
It's immoral for those women who are prettier than her and younger and fitter to be competing for the same men she's trying to compete for. That's the immorality. That's the only immorality these old bitches can point to.
I make an example. You know, if there's a kid, like I have to be responsible with someone who's a minor in other dimensions. Do you know what I'm saying?
No. But I want to be charitable to what you're saying, so
I'm trying to think of a good example, but like
a minor in other dimension. Do you mean like their cognitive function is if they're
You have
18
to
is
look
like
out-
that of a 15-year-old?
you have to look out for people younger than you, and
Yeah.
and there's definitely a chance to take advantage of their innocence. So
There's also a chance to look out for them, like you just said. Like taking a woman into your home, letting her live there, paying her bills, helping her get established. How is that not helping her?
I think that's generally what we're getting at. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but you don't. There doesn't even need to be an age gap for that. You just take advantage of them anyway. At the same
can take
age, you can
advantage-
take advantage of them.
I mean, there's
Frequently.
obviously a serious problem with taking advantage of people who are much younger than you because their lack of experience and
But there would be a serious problem for anybody to take advantage of anybody for any reason, right?
What do you mean?
So, like, let's say a 50-year-old guy is taking advantage of the naivete of a 19-year-old girl in order to, I don't know, get her to do whatever the hell it is that he wants, versus a 21-year-old guy. I don't see why it's immoral, more immoral, just because the guy is 50 versus 21. I don't see what the difference is.
I would think he would know better than the 21-year-old,
He
but I
might,
would say they're both
but I'm
wrong.
just saying, it seems like it's just equally bad to me. Doesn't seem like this
No,
was
you
more bad
really-
to that.
Because like a 20-year-old doesn't have as much experience as a 50-year-old. I think they would know better.
Yeah, I
mean,
get
that's
it.
just my general sense.
Yeah, I get it. I understand what you're saying, but you could have a 25-year-old and a 24-year-old girl, and he is vastly more intelligent and vastly more experienced than she is.
Usually
Because he's a man.
not, though.
But you could, right? And there's no ick there. The only ick would be in the distinction for age, and it's only due to like some kind of preference. But if we were to look at the immoral action, a 50-year-old man takes advantage of a 19-year-old girl, it's like, oh, yeah, that's bad. But if 21-year-old takes advantage of 18-year-old girl, that's still just as bad.
They're all assuming that the man is taking advantage of the woman too, but they'll all say it's fine just to fuck them. That's where this gets even more crazy. And it kind of proves that they're only worried about those resources. They're not worried about icky or anything like that. Oh, they don't give a fuck other than the resources. And that's why they don't care if you fuck them. You just can't share your resources with them. But they'll pretend like, oh, but I'm worried about the girl. We got to look out for them. Got to look out for them so they don't take my man. Yeah, that's real convenient, bitch.
And also, as a 50-year-old man, wouldn't you want somebody who has a little more experience?
I don't know what their preferences are, but
I
the
mean, like-
question.
To be fair, I don't date 18-year-olds or anything like that. I try and date 30 and up. And even the 30-year-olds are too immature, really. Like, just facts. But I mean, I'm more attracted to the 18-year-olds, but I can't get through the static. They're fucking crazy. They don't make any sense. Yeah, I get what she's saying with that. I do understand a little bit.
The question to me is not even. The question to me is not, why do you prefer this thing X?
But I don't think it's a sin if guys do want younger women like that. Like, I got no issues with that.
Whether or not is this thing even a problem? So is it actually even a problem that a 50-year-old might?
You usually see people together who are roughly the same age. I think that's because they grew up in the same era. As peers, you tend to be able to connect on a lot more. So I think maybe that's why, okay, maybe something's off there. Maybe that's a red
Unless
flag.
this social circle becomes reduced due to external factors,
Okay.
like, for instance, war. If 40 or 50% of your male population, young male population, totally decimated, now you have these extreme age gaps. Now it's necessary. So
Yeah.
in that case, is that okay?
Yeah, I think that's fair.
Well, then if that's okay, you're really just saying there's nothing really immoral here.
I never said it was never.
If there's
okay.
nothing immoral, then why do we care? That's my
Because
question.
It's a red flag. It's definitely a red flag.
Okay, well, now that's fair, right? You could say it's a red flag or something that you would look out for.
How would it even be a red flag? Isn't that something that, like, when you're trying to date somebody, you see a red flag and now you don't want to date them? Like, he didn't want to date you anyways. He's dating somebody younger and prettier. Thought that's what we were talking about.
That's fair enough, but I'm just saying I don't see a problem with it per se.
Not necessarily, which I've said. So.
Your thoughts?
I think as long as both parties are consenting adults, then it's fine.
There you have it. There you have it. Going back to some of you who said that you find it predatory or icky, do you care to elaborate on your answers? How is it predatory?
So, well, I'd like to not exactly change my answer, but I'll add more. I think it's different if two people meet, they don't know how old they are, they happen to have a connection, and then, you know, like it happens to be a pretty large age gap. But if like an older man and an older woman is purposely going on dating apps and making their age range very young, like purposely looking for these younger women, that's when it feels pretty predatory, because you're actively seeking someone way younger than you, or if you have some type of age cutoff.
Wait, an age cutoff?
Yeah, like if you're like, oh, I don't want
So
to be
you
with a
wouldn't?
woman.
Would you date a 70-year-old man?
No.
What are you doing with this age cutoff?
No, I'm
What if
saying-
you didn't know his age? It would make it okay then, right? You only thought he was 45.
No, but what I'm saying is, like, let's say you meet someone and they happen to be, I don't know, whatever age cutoff. Like
a lot of men have like 30 cutoffs.
Or yeah, like 30. They're older than 30, and you're like, no, even though they're closer to your own age, that means you want them to be significantly younger than you.
So what if a man, he's in his 40s, he wants to start a family, okay? He hasn't been able to for whatever reason, okay? Maybe he's been like long-term in the military, maybe he has other things going on, right? He has not been able to, but he's accrued a ton of resources. So he starts researching, goes online, he's like, how can I have a nice big family? What are the things I should be looking for? Do you think fertile woman would be like one of those big criteria for that?
Well,
If you wanted to have a family,
other options.
fertility in women would be a big one, right?
What are the other options?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, even though the percentage of women that are still fertile is less as they get older, there still
So?
are some. Or if you really want
So
children,
if you wanted to have 9 kids, you probably wouldn't want to marry a 30-year-old, right?
but if you want children that badly, you could adopt. Adoption
Yeah,
is
but
an
you could
option.
also marry a 25-year-old.
Well, there are also women who freeze their eggs.
Yeah, I know, but what if you, again, you could just marry a fertile 25-year-old too. You could be a 40-year-old man and go, well, she's 25, so I get the maximum amount of fertility. I want to have 7, 8 kids.
But then why weren't you trying to start that family? And
Maybe
have those
it's
kids
because you
early
were
on?
trying to accrue resources so you could. And then if the 25-year-old says, yeah, you have the resources, I really dig you, I think you're great, I want to give you 9 kids, I could not imagine anybody at this table could ever give me a single problem with that from a moral standpoint ever. I don't think it would even be possible.
Wait, I have a question. So,
Let me pause this for a second. I have a theory, a hypothesis, if you will. I think that the sluttier the girl is, the more incapable she is of sitting there and not being the center of attention. And I think that is because the sluttier they are, they need that attention from men all the time. And anytime they're somewhere and they're not getting attention, it just bothers them. If you notice, all of the ones who didn't want to talk about their body count are the same ones who keep speaking up and keep getting like roasted. Just a theory I have, something to look for in future videos.
Well, let's let her respond before. Do you have a response?
Well, I want to hear what Hallie says.
No. So Andrew said
Just wanted attention.
He doesn't think anybody at this table would be able to raise an objection.
I don't think
the
anybody
scenario.
in this country could raise an objection to this from a moral standpoint that would be in any way coherent, but I would love to hear it.
If I can add on to your question, without raising an actual argument or objection, do you find the scenario that he painted predatory or icky? 40-year-old, 25-year-old.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay,
A 40-year-old with a 25-year-old?
correct. Her prefrontal cortex is fully developed at this point. Bear in mind.
Close enough, anyway.
No.
No.
No. Who cares? They're both happy.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Go ahead. What's your
So,
question?
I was just asking for a friend. Do you think that, from a woman's perspective, having kids at 25 with someone who is 40 is disadvantageous?
I can't figure out how it would be disadvantageous
To the
from
woman?
a logical standpoint. It could be from some kind of preferential standpoint.
How old is
like-
Henry Cavill?
His
like they
sperm
could
might have
say,
declined.
they could say, for instance,
40. Wait, can I jump in here really quick? You know who Henry Cavill is? Nick, could you Google Henry
Oh,
Cavill?
he said Superman.
Superman.
Superman, yeah, thanks.
The Witcher, The Tudors. If anybody, I don't know if anybody knows
that
The
guy's
Tudors.
a great actor.
Oh, I know him, yeah.
Very handsome man, 40 years old.
Didn't he play Superman?
Yeah, what disadvantage would it be to date somebody that looks like that? Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, it's Superman.
Yeah.
So what was your question? The 40-year-old and the 25-year-old?
I was asking, do you think it's disadvantageous for a 25-year-old woman to have babies?
Let me
and a
ask, do you think it would be
40-year-old?
disadvantaged?
A 40, he's a millionaire, so if you're just talking about him in general, no, it would be very smart to have that baby. But in general, men in their 40s have more resources than women in their 25 for sure. So why would it not be? Even if he expires early, you get the money. Why would that be bad for you?
Disadvantageous for a 25-year-old woman to have children with Henry Cavill?
No.
Do you think a lot of 25-year-old women would jump at the chance to be with Henry
Hang on,
Cavill?
forget that
Even if
for
he
a
was
second.
broke.
Let me ask this
Women would be with him even if he's broke. He's handsome enough. He could get that.
easier. Let's say for somehow, I don't
Just
know how,
easier.
okay, but they froze sperm from a guy from 1915 who died. Okay, 1915. They had the frozen sperm, and a woman wanted to become a mother, right? And she looked through, and she's like, "Oh, I really want this guy from 1915. I want to have his babies, right?" And so she like artificially inseminated herself, and she had the baby. Okay. Well, didn't she actually have a child then with a dude who's like over 100 years old?
No.
No?
Well,
Wait,
yeah.
I'm a little confused by this one myself.
Didn't she?
If you freeze the sperm,
Uh-huh.
right?
He's
they're-
still aging.
Like they're frozen.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's this 100-year-old like living man.
So if I go freeze my sperm, I can give it to any aged woman I want to eat as a popsicle, I guess. Like, I don't know how it applies, but I can do it. Won't be gross.
His 18-year-old sperm or something? I guess.
Well, what if it's his 50-year-old sperm?
I don't know. That seems like
Or what if they froze it when he's 90?
But it's just sperm. It's not like you're having intercourse.
yeah, you don't have a
with that
relationship
man.
with that person. And like what you were saying
So
earlier.
then if that's true, then is that saying that you can be in a relationship with an 80-year-old man, and as long as you don't have a intercourse with him,
She just said it's just sperm. Just sperm. If somebody walked past and they had a cup of hot lava and a cup of random jism and they threw them in the room, I would avoid the sperm before I would avoid the lava. Just, I don't want that on me.
And you just like, I don't know, you put off in a cup and you inseminate yourself, then that relationship then is fine, or
No.
no? This is what I mean. It's like,
I think that
like she says,
situation is
there's all kinds of nuance, and I'm like, let's see if we can find the craziest nuance we can.
An 80-year-old off in a cup is pretty crazy.
It's pretty nuanced.
Yeah.
Pretty nuanced.
Yeah, but can I ask you something? So you were grilling Hallie a little bit when she was talking about wanting these like material things from a man, blah, blah, whatever. And then she brought up children and you were like, that's a material thing as well. And now you're saying
The material conditions for children, yeah.
Yeah, and now you're saying, so you're like, oh, it's wrong. I don't know if this is what you meant, but this is how it sounded like, that it's not good to just seek someone for these material things. But then in your scenario, when you're talking about this 40-year-old man actively seeking someone younger just for the material thing being the children that you
No,
stated
what
before.
happened is she asked, would it be disadvantageous for a 25-year-old woman, right, to get married to a 40-year-old man and have his babies?
Yeah.
I can't think of how that would be disadvantageous.
But I'm talking about what we were talking about like a couple hours ago.
Yeah,
like
but you're
towards the beginning
conflating
of the
two different
podcast.
things. So the question which was asked is, how would this be disadvantageous? I don't see how it could be disadvantageous.
I mean, I don't think it's disadvantageous per se.
Do you know what that means?
But I still think that, like, if the only reason you're trying to like build a relationship with someone younger than you is to have children with them, then that's like, why would you do that?
To perpetuate the human species,
like
so people like you can be alive.
No, but the other core values that you were talking about earlier, like integrity and loyalty and all of that, like
You can have all of those things together.
you can, but what if you can't find that and you only find like that? That's pretty hard to find.
Virtuously.
Okay, so you mean what happens if you can't find a virtuous woman at the age of 25?
Like, yeah, so are you just gonna settle for someone who you don't have that same connection with, but they're 25? So
Yeah,
they can provide
probably
you
not,
children?
no.
Or would you rather be with someone who's older? who
Yeah,
you share more
so
values
now
with, but
so
they can't
now
give
if you want to
children?
make the shift from whether or not it's disadvantageous, and you're talking specifically about the core of relationship dynamic for preference, and you're like, is the preference for this guy to only have 9 kids? If that's the case, then I guess he could compromise on his values. But if the preference is not that, if the preference is he wants to have 9 kids and a virtuous woman, then yeah, he might have to compromise on his standards. I don't see how he wouldn't be. You know, I mean, as far as looks and this type of thing. Or am I misinterpreting your question, or am I getting something wrong here?
Well, just because you were saying that, like, a 40-year-old man who really wants a family, like really, really badly, they're going to only look at younger women because they have a higher chance of being fertile and being able to give you those children.
No, I'm not saying they only would, but I would understand why they would.
Can I play devil's advocate for my original
I
point
wish you
on
would,
this
yeah.
topic?
Please.
So if I am a hot 25-year-old woman, okay, and this 40-year-old
Hot-ish.
man wants me to have his kids, don't you think that he should be providing for us for me to even consider having his kids, or no?
I think that he should be in a position in which he can provide for the children in his family. yeah.
Especially at almost 15 years older.
Does that mean taking you to the Bahamas and giving you $10,000?
I never said give $10,000.
Is that $10,000 a month for you to go zip lining and hang gliding? That's providing for you and the
No.
kid?
That's providing for her so she can go back to school and fuck all the boys at school, like we already established. She fucks the boys at school and dates the boys who can pay her.
No, it's not. No, it's not. Y'all
business.
taking my words out of my mouth. What I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah, I'm
saying,
joking,
what
I'm
I'm
joking,
just
but go
saying
ahead.
is, like, at that dinosaur age, you should.
Wow.
you should be doing more than if I'm gonna go have kids with somebody my age. That's just my take.
Yeah, the nice house he lets you live in and the Maserati he lets you drive around. Yeah, that's a lot nicer than you're going to get from a 20-year-old guy. That's what he's trying to tell you. Obviously, unless you're dating a millionaire 25-year-old, that's pretty self-explanatory.
You should be doing more?
Yeah.
Do you think that do you think that a man who is in his 40s, who by your own admission is going to have more resources than a man at 25, don't you think he'd be better to provide for your children?
No, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, then he is doing more.
No, I'm just asking you.
He's just not doing more for you. He's doing more for.
That's all that matters to her, too.
Just not for you.
So by default,
You
then,
don't get the pearls, you know. The kids get new clothes. That's how it goes. You know?
That won't do for this one, Andrew.
No, you don't get the pearls. You don't get the big diamond. The kids get the better school. The kids get the better education. Kids get the better life.
That sounds like a sad life.
I will just.
It sounds like a sad life.
Having all your needs fulfilled sounds like a sad life. Yep. We're doomed. We're doomed.
To make up the preferences, the
Why-
children over yourself.
No, why can't we all have a beautiful life?
Well, I mean, what? You could.
Right.
You can't. You know what? You can have it all.
Right.
You can have 5 kids and $10,000 Bahama vacations and just kind of everything you want.
It doesn't cost $10,000.
Princess treatment, okay? Princess treatment. A couple questions
Just
here.
dudes with bricks with gold in their pockets, just waiting. They can't wait to have nine kids.
This is a kind representation, too. A lot of the videos are 400-pound women saying these exact same fucking things. This chick's at least moderate. She's mid.
Oh, a couple things here. Okay, good.
No.
And our family.
Yeah, men want women who are passionate and ambitious, even if that means, you know, being a wife and a homemaker and raising your children.
You don't give a shit about ambition.
So you don't want to be with someone who has
that men
goals?
care about ambition? They don't care about
You
women's
don't care.
ambitions.
So you want to be with somebody who doesn't have any goals in life? Because
I
that's
didn't say goals. I said ambition. You don't
mean-
need to be ambitious. Like you.
She's trying to conflate it, too. He didn't say that. He said, we don't care. He didn't say you want somebody who has no ambition. We just don't give a fuck about your ambition. It's that, you know, I kind of prefer it if you're not trying to be a fucking CEO, because I'd like to get a blowjob sometimes.
I don't think you understand what ambition means.
Why don't you tell me?
Go ahead, tell them. What?
I'm not good at definitions on the fly at all. So
I thought I didn't know what it meant. What the fuck?
I mean, I don't think you do, but just. 'cause
Oh, I
that's
guess.
not
Well, I
my
know
definition.
you don't. I know for sure you don't. You can't even tell me what it means.
Being able to describe something and write, you know, the
I don't know how to define that, but you don't know what it is. How does she fucking know? I promise you, Andrew knows a lot more words than she does.
what it means in a dictionary is not the same thing.
No,
as
but
knowing
you
what something
you
means.
said you asked him. He doesn't know what you mean by ambition, so he's asking you to define it.
Yeah.
Ambition is having goals.
I can Google it if you want. I can Google it.
That would be great. But ambition
You'll
is
need to.
having goals and seeking to, you know, rise above where you're at, you know, building skills, you know, having a goal and trying to reach it.
Andrew, when you say men don't care about ambition, do you mean it within the context of like career achievement, academic achievement?
Yeah. Well, what
educational
I'm talking
achievement?
about is.
Because what if a woman's ambitious for a family? Like you would agree that would be she wants.
Well,
not even that.
Again, we need to kind of narrow down what we mean here when we're talking.
Yeah, I had one that was ambitious for a family, and she got pregnant while she was pretending to already be pregnant. No, I don't want that. I want one that's willing to have a family, but I don't want one that's ambitious for it. That's when they pull tricks on you to make that family happen.
About ambition, so
Careful what
for
you wish
me,
for.
When I'm thinking about ambition, I'm thinking of I want to have stellar achievement. I want to have something which I'm moving towards, which is to rise above some station or to move towards this kind of overtly worthy thing. Generally speaking, no, men don't give a shit. Like if you start out a good cook and you end up a good cook, they don't fucking care. They don't care. They don't give a shit. You don't need to become a better and better cook. They don't give a shit. They don't care. Like if you're just good enough, you're good enough. They don't give a shit. I've never seen any of them say, "Nope, you got to be." You got to
Wait,
really.
hold on. I want to give her an opportunity to respond.
How would you notice? Like your clothes are cleaner? Like you throw it in a machine and it fucking does all the work for them now. They don't have to go beat it on a rock. It's going to do the same when she throws it in as it will when I throw it in. So how would you even know if she was better at doing laundry and washing dishes? Just get the shit off of it. Like,
Bond, you seem to disagree with Andrew. Do you want to?
I think generally speaking, people seek a partner who does have goals, and goals are what give your life meaning.
Can I comment on this?
Goals?
Let me
It
comment.
depends, but it doesn't have to be job related at all.
I want a woman whose goal is to make her man happy. That's what I want. That's the only goal I give a fuck about them having. If they can have them or not have them, I don't give a shit. But that one goal I want them to have. I want a woman whose goal is to make her man happy.
So
and dick hard. I
think something that
I have goals. I want to be a homesteader. I want to raise a family. Like I want to become a better cook. You brought up cooking. Like,
I think
but why does a man
That's
care
appealing.
about those goals though?
Because
that you want to be a homesteader.
Because he would like to do so as well.
Okay, so then,
So she wants him to have the same goals she has. So what she's saying is she wants her man to accomplish her goals for her. Well, she drinks wine and pumpkin spice lattes. Fucked up.
His goals?
It's his goals.
Well, you have,
but I think the context of the context of the conversation is occupational, career, educational achievement. That's the context. Not, and Andrew maybe has differing views on this. I don't object to a woman who is desirous or has goals to having a
Didn't say he objected.
family.
It's not an
But I don't think that's
objection,
what's.
It's what I'm just saying about what is cared about, what
Sure.
the preference is.
But let's keep it within the context of career, success, financial, educational achievement.
And
Men in those realms, men don't really care about woman's ambition in that regard.
No, I think I agree on that.
Oh,
It was just unclear when you said, men don't care if women have ambitions. I just
okay.
I think
Here, let's not linger long because I want to try to wrap
Wait, but quickly, but for the men, so say for example, right, you meet this girl and she's in school for something long term, but like you guys both mutually decide like y'all want to settle down and start a family. Do you think that she should forfeit her career for a potential husband and family?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
What about you?
What about me?
Like, what do you
Should
the woman forfeit her career for a potential family and husband?
Should she? Well, it depends what the arrangement is going to be. Do you want to have 1 kid, 2 kid, 3 kids, 4?
No, so
if her standard is going to be, well, while I'm pregnant, I don't want to be in the workforce, and then during those early years, I don't want to be in the workforce, and then I also want to have 3, 4, 5 kids, you are going to forfeit your career.
So remember the example.
And if I can give my own perspective, let's say I want to have 7 sons, and I'm a high earner, and you want to go pursue your career where at the top end of your career, you're going to be making $75,000 a year, and I'm making seven figures a year. No. I think you should take care of the kids.
So
why do that career if I can provide?
I agree. So in the example that we were saying, like, remember the 25-year-old having kids and then the 40-year-old man, right? So say the 25-year-old is just starting her career and all of a sudden the 40-year-old wants kids. Should she just like stop? Because she's obviously very early in her career. Should she just stop what she's doing?
Yes.
But you can have a career and have children at the same time.
You can also not have a career and take care of your children at the same time. You can do both. None of these are mutually exclusive. So her should. What's optimal? What's optimal is you listen to your 40-year-old husband. If he tells you stay the home and watch the kids, then you stay the home and you watch the kids. It's simple.
If I could play devil's advocate for one.
You're such a misogynist, Andrew. You are just a misogynist, and the Whatever podcast, being a feminist platform, does not appreciate your attitude.
She asked. She just like, the ask is, what things should be done if the husband wants this thing? Yes, from my worldview, yeah, you need to do what ultimately your husband tells you to do.
I am sorry. I do want to try to wrap up relatively soon, so I'm just going to try to get through some of our last talking points here.
All right. So,
You do OnlyFans as well.
Be interested in it.
Got to get back to a certain point here.
Wait,
Bear
an
with me.
age cutoff?
114.47. What the fuck? There we go. This is the view I needed. So, out of all of these women, the only one that is a worthy person to even try and date is, well, two. The mousy girl beside Andrew, right there. She's a virgin, of course, but she's at least based. She's not being stupid. She's not saying ignorant shit. She's acting like a fucking woman should. And, bear with me, the one in the pink, her too. She's going to need some work. You're going to have to get her on a treadmill. You're going to have to get her into a regimen quickly. But those are the only two women who are worth trying to date. All the rest of these strumpets, useless to me. Useless to me. Useless. And that's all that's out there is these hags. You don't see these mousy little virgins. They're nowhere to be found. Nowhere. Like, I didn't even think that existed. And I would still be questioning, but she's at least got the seal of approval so far. Yeah, the rest of them, no. This first one and this third one would be a nightmare. A nightmare. It's a business. It's a business. And the first one's stupid. She's not as much a business, but she's stupid. You'd have to hear these talks like where she just feels like I should be talking and I got nothing to say. That's every time she started talking. Just need some attention and I got nothing to say. Don't even understand the words you're saying. But she's a girl, so I guess that's allowed if you're a girl. Anyway. Wait. Wrong one. Let me end this here so I can get some clips today. I didn't get none yesterday. Went too long. Had a lot of viewers though. It was fun. If I can get y'all to start coming for the live podcast, I would do it on a certain day. I just got to find the day that works where I can get a lot of attention, like a lot of people in the comments. So let me know in the comments what day is good for y'all. Like what time are y'all on YouTube and you're looking for something to do? Because I'm at a point now where I'll do it for 2 or 3 people. I don't give a shit. I just do it at this time because I can go work out after. So let me know in the comments and I will see y'all next time. Peace.